in the phase of trying to figure out what is DAO, how does DAO work, what can DAO achieve.
It's very true.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a buzzword, but I like that. We have to get involved in it. Like we have to practice these things
Yep.
out and find out what a DAO can what they can achieve. So
And I think of a DAO because it is a revelation. It's literally the solution to the problems I've had my entire life, is that I have all these different skill sets that don't fit into this one particular field of work. And I want to be able to utilize that the best as possible. So then you create up a revenue stream, which is what like the Nouns has done perfectly. They got that revenue stream down. They know exactly what they're doing, but then they don't have that structure to like kind of create. That's what they're looking for in their proposals. But if you bring that instantly with the revenue and you start off the right way with this type of community, then you're starting that type of collective that's going to challenge the traditional business standpoint and workforce that we see today. We are trying to create the next new generation of how we work and how we care for ourselves.
yeah, and it's gonna get yeah. I'm so intrigued to see what we can accomplish because like right now it's the ideas are in digital land, but yeah, the ideas of DAOs crossing over into meat space, and yeah, I'm so intrigued to see what can be achieved.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, Phantom. I'm fucking mind blown at who has been joining the Phantom Menace.
It's been so cool to talk with everybody there and connect and kind of see their insight on their experiences and what they can bring and what they want to do, because everybody's got a different background and backstory and what they want to do with such a function.
Well, this is why I brought the idea today about like Phantom Menace talking to Farm God DAO, because like
Yep.
even DAOs seem to be you're seeing a lot of different structure in DAOs. Like to me, Farm God is like they're really at the stage of producing projects,
Right.
but as a DAO, like there could be so much more in terms of like to me, I see them with a major marketing problem. Like I think what they
Right.
and I
Well,
had this conversation today with the guys. Like what they're building over there is insane with the Phantomons and Scullies and Deliland, but it's just getting eyes and ears over there.
yep. And I think that's where we're missing a large unifier between the DAOs. Because if we want to look at DAOs as like businesses in the traditional sense, you're going to have your mom and pop shops that are working on those very curated things that they want to offer a very specific demographic. And then you're going to have these large players that want to hit large demographics and do many things. And then if you create a competition, like not a competitive environment, instead you're trying to create these communities together, then suddenly this DAO can help give branding, investment ideas, and marketing to this DAO, and then we'll all work towards this one goal together.
Right, and that's kind of
That's
where I
how I
see
see
things.
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree with you there. That's exactly how I see it. Because right now, yeah, I see Menace, yeah, be kind of becoming this just a big thing, and then it'll help stir up the smaller DAOs in the ecosystem, and
Because that's the narrative that I want to bring, is that we're not trying to compete with anybody. We want to reach out. We want to see how can we help you? How can you help us? Like let's sit at the same table. Let's work in the same ecosystem. Like we want to see Phantom the number 321 coin in the entire market cap. Let's do it together.
yeah, I mean that was the whole idea of joining it, and the pitch in general was like, all right, what do we need if we have resources and skill set? Like, what can we offer to bring to the Phantom ecosystem? So then it was like, well, let's acquire the talent needed from the Phantom ecosystem. That the people that don't have the resources behind them to come through with their ideas.
Yep.
And yeah, so I mean, yeah, I mean the last couple of weeks have been pretty crazy watching the names come into that group. I fucking can't wait to see what can be created. because
It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be
yeah,
insane.
yeah,
People. Here's another thing. People are already excited about collabs, right? Like when like Tidbits does something or Nibble Labs does something with Clockworky. That's insane. Well, now you have everybody under the same roof, and they're just like, hey, why don't we all do something together? That's 100% almost inevitable.
yeah, yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, that's kind of the concept of like the rabbit hole right now. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
working through this. Working through this whole like rabbit hole NFT, yeah, it's the idea that
Like a melting pot.
it's so much fun. Yeah, the concept that all these artists want to pitch in to do these things. Yeah, it's awesome, super awesome. I don't see my guy Fantomycologist in here yet. This is
So I was really excited because I don't know. So I found them because we had that conversation with Queen Human that morning, and we brought up mushrooms. And then they tweeted at me underneath, and when I checked out their webpage, they only had 3 minted. And it only cost 20 FTM. Of course, I was going to mint a few, and they were like really, really cool. So I just I started posting around for them. I went to your group. I reached out to a couple people on Twitter, and it's just like those were too cool to not be noticed, you know?
yeah. As soon as I seen them, it was like, okay, the art's fucking cool as shit. I respect the hell out of the art. And then for 20 FTM each, I fucking. The funny thing for me is this: I literally had a consultation yesterday, the day before, with a couple guys working on a big project.
Yep.
And it's a mushroom mycology based project, but it's essentially the funny part is it's essentially this project. It's just the non-pick, like more traditional art side of things.
Okay.
So it was fun kind of shooting the shit with them, bouncing ideas off, and then, this happened to pop up, and it was like, oh, well, this is actually kind of more down the lines of what I was hoping for the project that reached out to me.
Right.
So, yeah, I minted a couple of them. I have to mint more, but I'm a liquid as fuck, so.
Yeah, I'm in the same position right now. It's just all my money are in pictures, man.
It's awesome. But yeah, I really want to get one of the Amanita Muscaria ones.
Oh my gosh, the lion's mane one that they posted, with the purple aura around it, that was sick.
So I did get a lion's mane. I don't think I got a cool one, but I did get one, and I'm pretty pumped. I'm a big mushroom fan. Like I like.
Same. I've grown my own lion's mane. I love that shit.
Yeah, it's super awesome. We have a little farmers market in town every week, and the little mushroom booth that's there, that seems to be a busy one. The last couple of years, I think people are really kind of waking up to the holistic benefits to the different mushroom species.
And even past that point, it's just like there are certain Japanese cultures that they've studied where they have an over excess of different mushroom species that basically every family eats an abundance of them. They're so much healthier. They have less cardiovascular issues. They live longer. They have less long-term dementia, Alzheimer's types of thing. They are so beneficial in ways that we don't even realize, but we don't have a diverse selection in the immediate environment to a lot of people.
That's super interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. I really like have you got into the stoned ape theory at all?
Yeah.
From Graham
I've heard
Hancock?
about that. It's interesting, yeah.
It's super interesting. I find it also amusing. And then the idea that, humans are closer to fungi, mushroom.
They're our ancestors.
Yeah, it's wild. And then there's a lot of
they developed stomachs underground. We developed stomachs above ground.
Yeah,
they have mycelium roots through networks.
Well, and that's where it gets interesting, right? Like I forget who it was, but I heard them talk about the blockchain technology, being essentially the mycelium of the world when it comes to money.
That's cool. I like that.
And I was like, oh, that's such a fucking interesting little thing. Yeah, because we're just learning over the last few years about mycelium and the power that all these plants connecting together through this mycelium have. So, that some trees can benefit other trees through sending nutrients if they're this one tree's not doing so well.
Oh, cool. I think I'm correct about this, that they're one of the, if not the largest organism, is actually a connection of like a mycelium network that's considered like one entity.
I did hear about this. I have read that too. Yeah, I mean it's pretty wild. Like I know, I read these study or I watched this documentary about the scientist who's been working on, yeah, just testing different trees and shit, and can they communicate through this mycelium network, and like the findings that she's coming up with is just like wow, yeah, it's a whole fucking brain connection system, like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's just we are so narcissistic that we see ourselves so important, and then we forget how ancient these types of species are that we've evolved from, that interact in these ways that we don't understand, and we just haven't taken the time to give them that amount of respect.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, this is where I like to question things a little bit, because, you know, we think we have such a great understanding of everything, but there's always such amazing new findings coming out that kind of go against what we thought of previously.
Right.
Yeah, I think the mushroom stuff I find is so interesting. That was part of, like, my beginning down the rabbit hole, like, my first, like, psilocybin experience. Was just like, wait, I should be in jail for this? Hold on. Like, hold on, what is that about? And then you get into the idea of, like, you know, how many cultures have been using that stuff for however many years, and it's like, okay, yeah, there's something going on to this. Yeah, I very much get into the idea of, like, war on consciousness. It's not really a war on drugs, it's a war on consciousness.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And it's just facilitated that way because it's easier for them, because we've lost so much studies. We've lost since the 1950s. Therapists, literally, if they wanted to study psychedelics, they would lose their license, they would lose their respect. It was not even an option for people to even in the scientific field. What John Hopkins has recently done, all the hurdles that they have gone crazily, that the research that they have now, it's amazing that we even have that, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's my biggest problem with so much of it. It's like, yeah, putting the big red button on stuff. Yeah, the amount of science that we lost out on, like when the psychedelic assisted therapies, when it comes to the success rate for soldiers coming home with PTSD, is strikingly insane. Like,
I mean, it makes so much sense. You think about it, you take somebody that has been so affected by trauma, you create these new patterns of the way that their mind works. They can't see outside of their own patterns that they've formed by themselves ever. That's
right,
it.
right.
So you need this something that alters the framework of how they can literally think to get free of that perspective, feel something different, and then separate it from what they were.
Yep. I'm yeah, and this is my problem, right? It's like we just threw out 50 years of learning that. Think about what we've accomplished in 50 years. Like, this is... It's cool.
Oh yeah, and other fields of study that we've actually given the care to focus on, we've gone so far.
Yeah. So this is
Look at Elon Musk. If Elon Musk was building psychedelics, it would be crazy.
Right. Right. Yep, that's just it. So I see we have Dr. Fantomycologist in the house.
Oh, we do. Welcome.
Sir, do you want to unmute yourself and let's start talking about your project that you got going on here. I have already minted a couple of them. I'm a large mushroom fan. I'm growing a little mushroom NFT collection myself. I didn't get the Amanita muscaria mushroom that I wanted for the collection, but just means I'm going to have to continue minting a couple more. Yeah, art looks great, dude. I will say that. Website looks awesome. Yeah, but let's get into what's the inspiration behind this project? can't hear you yet. Is this going to be one of these half and halves? Do I get to speak and you're going to type? Or are you jumping up here on stage?
Hey.
Hey, I hear him.
Sorry about that.
Nope, it's all good. I can hear you. Beautiful.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. Yeah, so I learned about your project just yesterday. Are you... Yeah, this is a one-man show, right?
Yep, it's just me. I started doing this like 2 weeks ago. Saw a lot of stuff happening on Fantom and just thought now's the time. So that's it.
So, all right, let's get into your backstory here. What is your journey into crypto?
God, I don't know. I mean, I've been into it since probably 2015. Quite a while.
Right.
I think and I've just been kind of passive about it, just bought some Bitcoin, bought some ETH. But just in the past few years, I've gotten into Fantom, really inspired by the speed and just how easy everything has been. So it was the obvious choice for me to like develop my own thing on Fantom.
Right. Yeah. So, we're big Fantom fans over here, obviously. You call us maxis in here. NFTs have started kind of going crazy over here. And now, so we've got some interesting fun going on with, we have a new NFT space going on. And now we also have a lot of eyes and finances coming into Fantom, which is also leading to an interesting price pump for everybody. So as of right now, we are very much learning live the youth of this asset class in this market. So I'm super intrigued to hear kind of the details on how you numbers. That is typically a lot of the beginning of all this is the little things to look for. What are your supply numbers? Pricing? How'd you come to pricing? Let's get into the stuff like that because
So I originally released at 50 Fantom per mint, thinking I saw a lot of projects at more than that. I thought I was kind of aiming for a middle of the road. I thought my art was cool. I hoped other people liked it. Thought middle of the road would be a good entry for me. But I know the price has gone up just in the past few days, so I decided to go down to 20. Somebody on Twitter recommended that, and I think they were right. And I'm glad I did it. I think it's attracted more people. I hope that it will continue to attract more. And this is just the beginning. This is like the first phase of a bigger project that I want to do. That's I've been super into Fantomon right now, and I want to see where that project goes. And I want to take this in not the same direction, but in a kind of similar direction where these tokens are not just art. They're going to have some utility, hopefully, and it will be something along the lines of holders of particular species here will have different things they can do the subsequent NFTs I release.
Right. This is where things get interesting, right? I already like that you brought up Fantomons because to me, those dudes are getting slept on way too much. And the idea that you're paying attention to it, tells me good things. Because we are at this stage now. To me, in my strategy for Fantom NFTs, I've been moving into kind of what I classify as like my blue chips, and disruptors. So like because Fantom it can enable some crazy shit due to transaction speeds and gas prices. I want to see fucking wild shit getting built here. So Fantomons is a great example of that. Now there is a lot of projects that are kind of there's a lot of projects that come over here, and there's a lot of buzzwords getting thrown around now, like GameFi and DAO and royalties in perpetuity. And so, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about building here, going forward?
Well, I don't want to give away everything.
Right.
But
Right.
let me just say, the next thing I want to drop is, I'm going to call it substrates. And if you hold one of my NFTs, if you hold one of my reishis, you will be able to purchase a very inexpensive substrate NFT. I'm still working on this, but I want to be able to have my holders inoculate the substrates. I don't know if you're familiar with the mushroom cultivation life cycle, but I want to be able to inoculate my NFTs, have the holders of these newly inoculated substrates grow their own second series mushrooms out of that. So kind of something will be produced out of the combination of the two.
Oh, this gets interesting. Yep.
Still early, but
Yep.
I'm working on it.
Yep. 100%. No, I like it. So, are you big into like the whole mushroom cultivation and foraging?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's awesome.
Of course. That's a huge inspiration for this. I've been into that for a long time.
That's super awesome because it's funny. Before you jumped on here, I was saying that just this week I had a consultation with somebody that is doing a project. I'm not going to call it similar. It's mushrooms, the different species of mushrooms, but it's not pixel art. It's more traditional art. But it's funny because in my consultation, a lot of it was like, I think you really need to bring this whole foraging, cultivation culture along with the project. Like, I don't think I just don't want to see mushroom pictures. Like, I want to see the whole culture behind it because I have an understanding of how wild that shit is. Where I'm in Facebook groups where everybody's posting, their mushroom, what they're finding out in the woods and whatnot, and everybody's kind of trying to help each other.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, you're trying to kind of incorporate that aspect. Like, is there a bit of an educational aspect to this?
That's what I was about to say. So the goal here is not only just to have like a cool, fun kind of game thing, but I hope that I can get to the level of detail where people can learn the basics of mushroom cultivation from this project. If you want to learn how to grow Benson's mushrooms, maybe this project will kind of give you an overview of how that works. Starting from you want to grow a culture on some agar. Maybe there's an agar NFT. Then you want to inoculate some grain. Maybe there's a grain jar NFT, and you inoculate it, and over time the NFT matures and grows into some mushrooms. We'll see. That's what I'm envisioning, right?
Yeah.
And visualization of this in the browser, a little lab tab instead of gallery. You can kind of watch things unfold with what you're doing. That's what I want. I want it to be interactive, where you'll come back and check on stuff for a few days to see how the colonization process is going.
Right. That's super interesting. Do you envision like a bit of a DeFi aspect to this? Like
I'm not sure. That's what I wanted to ask you about, because I've seen stuff about how NFTs that emit tokens are subject to different rules. I don't want to get into anything weird with like financial regulations. I want this to just be fun. I want it to be interesting and enjoyable for people. I'm not trying to like start a financial. I'm not trying to start my own bank or anything. So
yeah.
I don't want to get into anything that's going to make things complicated for me. I just want it to be fun.
Well, yeah. If you don't want to get into anything complicated, then yeah. Well, I think
I was going to ask you about that. If if I want to emit tokens, if I want to emit spore tokens from my mushrooms, is that going to cause me problems?
Bro, this is the whole fucking industry is going to cause problems. This is, I think, we're going to be. There's going to be an interesting crossroads coming up eventually about, how does this all work? Because the NFT stuff, yeah, this whole royalties being offered for holding and yeah, like, I mean, if you go by definition today, it sounds like a security.
Right.
But we're kind of building an entirely new economy. So
Right.
do the rules need to adjust to us, or do we need to adjust to the lawmaker?
Yeah.
This is where it.
Idealistically, I would love it if they would adjust to us, but
I know.
I'm not as optimistic. I think.
I know. No, I definitely think I like the idea. Yeah, I think when you get into tokens being offered, it does get weird.
Right.
Yeah.
So my idea was just to avoid that for now and stick with NFTs, where if you hold one of my Series 1 NFTs, you get a free mint of the next type of thing I'm releasing, something like that. That makes it easier. If you're holding it in your wallet, you can just mint.
So my question for you is potentially, are you happy with how Mint is going so far?
Yeah, I obviously wish it was going a little faster, but
Right.
I definitely, part of my question here is, would you change anything? Would you limit supply, even lower the price further? I'd rather not do that, since I've already got 78 people who've minted at this price.
Yeah. I see. I'm almost because you are planning on building more. I mean, we almost say this on every AMA now. Like, I personally really like the humans structure, and a lot of other NFT projects are kind of following this, where it's like a tighter. If this is the Genesis project, it's like a tighter, more exclusive supply for this Genesis project, and then from there, supply numbers can get bigger as the space gets bigger, and then you grow your community out that way through your second and third collections. Meanwhile, it so far it tends to bring back to the Genesis collection.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it seems to be the play that a lot of people are doing right now. But
yeah, I mean, the only downside there is if I just put in a hard cap. I've got these rares out there that are distributed randomly across the whole set. So I guess I could just pull those out and make those, keep those ones, and I'll have to think about it. But,
there's a few things you could do. You could pull them and auction them. You could pull them and maybe do a cool. So, for instance, Lost Phantom Warriors is doing this cool thing, and good fucking luck getting a Lost Phantom Warrior now. But they just release. He'll give you a hint in the Discord that hey, about to release 2 new warriors. And then you don't know which marketplace these warriors are going to go on, or what time they're going to go on, but they're out there somewhere. And then you have to go find the Lost Phantom Warrior. Whoever is first to find it gets it. So there could be an aspect where maybe we mint 2, and there's 50 or 100 rares that you have sitting in your back pocket that we're going to have to go do a real intense adventure forage for.
Right. That's a good idea. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to wait a little bit longer to make any decision.
100%. 100%.
I just released the other day, so who knows?
I think a lot of projects right now, especially over these next just few days, have to just sit and wait for a minute, because with the conference going on right now, we have to kind of wait and see what the fuck Fantom's doing. Yeah, I mean it's so tough, because I was kind of having this Hot and I were kind of going about this earlier, because Shiba Punk's lowering their mint price. Yeah, there's an aspect to I think we have to remember what our Fantom projections are. you know, I go into this stuff kind of expecting that every Fanty I'm paying is going to be a $30 Fanty one day. So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
but I don't think everybody's doing that. Well, clearly everybody's not doing that, because we're seeing floors fall out on projects right now as Fantom pumps. Yeah, so it's a new asset class. This is the fun of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the other thread I saw you talking on was you wish there was some way to view all of your NFTs. Now, I was wondering what you mean by that exactly. Like a gallery that just takes all the projects in the ecosystem and scoops them all up and shows you all into you in one place.
Yeah. So I got a few. There's a few things on Ethereum that like are slight upgrades to, like, you know, I don't have to just go to my paint swap and like look at my NFTs on my paint swap. Like you have on Cyber on Ethereum, where it's like a virtual gallery where you connect your wallet, and then it lists my assets, and then I get to basically place my assets in this virtual gallery, and then I can just send a link out to have people check out my virtual gallery.
That's cool. It's like a 3D immersive environment.
Yeah. And then they're getting into ideas of like doing one of one gallery, where like right now everybody's using the same 3 galleries, but like you could buy this one of 50 gallery.
That's cool.
And use it. But I'm more so throwing out the idea of displaying them in general. Like, you know, I'm waiting for the 70-inch super thin LED screens, or maybe not even LED. Maybe we're at a different technology at that point. But like my wall is just, my NFTs are cycling through on my wall.
Yeah.
AR stuff. Yeah, whether I could put on a fucking AR glasses, and then my fucking shit shows up in front of me, and I can just click a button and slide to the next one. Or, you know, I think there's endless room for display technology to be created. Yeah.
I was thinking the same. You know, there's all these like in-browser JavaScript 3D immersive environments out there that you can do, and it wouldn't be too hard to just make a gallery like that. I guess you're saying somebody's already done that on ETH, but having that on Fantom would be nice.
Yeah. I really like a really cool way to display our stuff on Fantom.
Yeah, something to think about. Cool.
Because even it's not even that like, I'd like to be able to, you know, I'd like to be able to send a link of my gallery over to somebody.
Right.
Like, hey, check this out. Or like have, you know, one of my favorite collectors in the space. Like I'd like to be able to send them, or have them send me a link to their gallery. And yeah, I think when there is, you know, some of these collectors, like, fuck, they're collecting 15 clockworky pieces, and, you know, they've got these crazy collections of like your favorite artists. Like, it would be cool to actually sit down and spend some time in an immersive gallery looking at all this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always thinking about things like this I could do to help the community, things of this nature, but also things like, I've noticed there is no wallet, there's no like system for checking which of your tokens have matured, which of them you've held for more than a year. And I know at least for the US, that's important to people, right? Because then you got the long-term capital gains tax if you were ever to sell. I want to know, I want to be able to list which ones I've held for more than a year, just to see, you know, what of my assets have matured. And I haven't seen that even on ETH. I haven't seen anything like that. So that's one thing I was thinking.
You're one of these big brains in this space. You're just doing NFTs to get your little bit of resources to be able to create some crazy shit. I like it.
You could say that. I mean, I want to build stuff. I've always been into building, so and you're right. This is like a bootstrap for me. I want to quit my day job, man.
Right. No, I respect the fuck out of that. I'm very much I say that a lot in the rabbit hole. That like I'm very much a bet on artists, bet on builders, bet on your people. You you know, the ones that want to keep doing stuff for this space are typically the ones that you can get away with. Like, yeah, if I buy your Genesis collection, you know, to speculate, it might hold value.
Right. I hope so. Yeah, I want to bring value to people. I want these to be things people enjoy looking at, but also find value in.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can really say against your project in terms of like looking around at the space right now in comparison to other projects when it comes to your supply numbers and your price and the quality of art. I can't bitch about this one bit.
Good to hear. That's what I was going for.
You know,
middle of the road.
Yeah, I really can't. I can't bitch about it at all. Like before we even did this AMA, I minted 2 of these yesterday because as soon as I went to the website, it was like, okay, this is cool. And then there's little things, little things as much as when I connect my wallet, which I won't do right now. When I hit the mint, you don't have a mint button, you have a forage button. There's little cool things that I respect about it. There's clearly like more effort put into this than quite a few others I've seen in the space that I have minted.
This has been one of the rare times in my life where I've I started from zero and I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. I did it in like 2 weeks, all start to finish, and I just enjoyed every minute of it. It was like super fun, every aspect. Even learning I had never done anything with Web3 and JavaScript, never done anything like that. So that was a big learning curve for me, but it was awesome. I want to do more.
And you're already up on PaintSwap, correct?
Yeah.
What's the royalty on secondary sales?
It's 5%, and half of that goes into a community wallet, which I currently have custody over, but we'll see what happens. If the project grows, that will go towards something if there ever are royalties.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah, that's all. It's all set in the contract.
Yeah, more. No, dude, I like this. Again, I like betting on projects. I like betting on people. Or not bet on projects, more so betting on people. Ones that want to keep building in this space. Yeah, the fact that you're already thinking about, maybe helping out the NFT display world and shit. Yeah, it obviously shows that you're trying to better the space, which is what we need. This is what we want.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Fantom is important to me. Like I've been holding it for, like I said, since over a year, probably a year and a half now. That I bought in at I don't know, for under 10 cents. So I'm a long-term holder. I believe in it.
Your PaintSwap banner looks great.
Thank you.
This is a bit of a thing. There's a bit of a battle going on with. I think that's a very marketable aspect to some of these projects in the PaintSwap collections feature.
Yeah.
Is you got a badass little picture here.
Yeah, I put in the time on that one, thinking that'll draw some eyes.
Yeah, I mean, this is all right. I minted a couple. The only ones we have on secondary market right now are going for 200 Fantom.
I saw that. Yeah. Stretch. You can still mint them for a cent of that. But
that's awesome.
Go for it.
No,
do what they want.
No, it's awesome. I like that you're trying to potentially bring a educational aspect to this. It's something that I'm actually really interested in. So,
yeah, that's what I want. I want this to kind of step through every step of the cultivation process. Like I said, we'll see.
Yeah, man. I think it's cool. If you want to drop your links to like your Discords, Twitter, anything like that, if you want to drop that in voice chat text right above us in the live AMA section here,
I will appreciate it. Yep.
Yeah, because Discord. Because if there's some educational aspects going on, I think there's a real chance to build a community around that.
Yes, I want that to be something that happens in the Discord. Yeah, like I said, it's just me. So right now,
bro, because this shit gets so wild. Because like you could end up say by your fucking third project where, you know, I've inoculated the next set of mushrooms, and then I've inoculated another set of mushrooms. Like, you could get into the idea of almost like geocaching these mushrooms now in like real world locations where like people are out on like a mushroom forage, but like can geocache little phantom mushrooms at the same fucking time.
Yeah, that's interesting. Good, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I just really like the. I really like the foraging community. It's just the.
Yeah, you mean like, you know, there's all kinds of websites out there that kind of help you identify mushrooms in the wild, right?
Yeah, and the people that seem to be involved in these communities are all fucking so nice, so helpful. You know, mushrooms are one of those things where like one could make you, one could kill you, one could fucking cure you from cancer. So like, gets a little.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm a true believer in the power of mushrooms. Yeah, they have there's so much potential, right? There's like bioremediation projects, you know, taking heavily polluted places and inoculating them with fungus that can kind of clean up the environment. That's huge. People are into that. Just one little dimension of this. Obviously, I consume mushrooms for all kinds of reasons, medicinally and culinarily. I mean, I'm big into it. I want to be an advocate for mushrooms as much as I can. Like,
yeah, well,
sounds silly, but it's true.
No, I'm super down for that concept. I would very much enjoy helping you do that. So yeah, I want to see this succeed. Like I said, I really like the art alone. Like, again, looking at just the basics of this, when it comes to comparing it to any other project on Fantom right now, like, it checks every box. There's no reason I wouldn't want to mint this.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming in here. I appreciate this.
Yeah. Thank you. I like what you got going here. I think this is important and cool. I feel comfortable coming on here. So, appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, man. Right on. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what we just try to do. A lot of times, it really comes down to the fact that, you know, I'm still doing my 9 to 5, so I really don't have time to just look into these projects anymore. It's like, you know, it's my chance to kind of learn live with everybody else.
Yeah.
I should check the voice chat. Do we have anybody got any questions for Dr. Fantomycologist?
Happy to answer.
Can you tell us a little bit about your creative process in terms of how you do the art and what kind of inspired you to do the types of backgrounds you made?
Yeah, sure. I mean, backgrounds kind of just one at a time. I just came up with them. First things first, I just drew like a nice sunny plane, and I was like, okay, that's the background. And then I thought, you know, why don't I have a whole bunch of different backgrounds? And then they just came out one after another, very ad hoc, totally spontaneous. No planning really, and then I just wanted to make some interesting looking stuff. I think that, like, the coastal scene there was inspired by a painting I like, but other than that, they just kind of come out of my mind. And then as far as the mushrooms themselves, I knew I have a whole set that I wanted to do. I ended up picking just these 8 out of like 20 that I had originally planned. And I just, you know, I said, you know, I'll wait. Maybe another series. I don't know. We'll see.
Sorry, boys. I got to jet for a minute. I got to get something to eat before I continue these AMAs for the night. But feel free to hang out for a little bit and continue answering questions.
Anybody else has any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll peace out too.